Self-esteem. Self-esteem is tied directly, in my opinion, to self-worth. Having knowledge to know what you know and the right to be heard. Statistically, lots of people like to be heard, but 87% of all statistics are made up on the spot. So when it comes to being an individual who is someone who exudes self-confidence and self-worth, it's important to be bold, not timid. But I get in my day-to-day life by just knowing a lot of information, a vast knowledge of information, both in medicine and in everyday life, pop culture included. Now, this information gives me a sense of purpose. It gives me a sense that I know things that people want to know or are curious about knowing now or maybe in the future. And I can exchange that information with them by altering vibrations of sound and sending that information across a crowded classroom. Knowledge is power, and power tends to corrupt. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. So some people rate social skills based upon people's self-esteem. Bear in mind that these folks mainly have this ability, and humans have the ability of intellect, but lack the wherewithal to socially express said intellect. Case in point, I have a great memory, and I build upon that memory every day, but I have no problem expressing to someone that I don't know something, or I've not heard of it recently, or it is new to me. Once I asked a colleague if they knew whether or not dogs had a rank in the military, because they were very much a dog person. And the person as well said, I don't know. So my curiosity built, and I, instead of going on to the interwebs and looking it up, went and asked a cousin who was in the armed forces, in the military, if he knew if dogs in fact had a rank. And his response to me was yes, they do have a rank, and my curiosity didn't just end there. I wanted to know why they had a rank. It was important to me not just to answer my question, but to further my own knowledge and be able to express that to others. So, come to find out, dogs do have a rank, and their rank is always one higher than their handler. The reason being, if the person, were male or female, were to ever strike the dog, then they technically are striking a commanding officer. Now, collecting the information I have in my brain has taken many years to do so, and I intend to be a student the rest of my life. But I have also learned when to not give information. Case in point. A few Thanksgivings ago, I was enjoying a nice meal with my large family, and an aunt was winding down with the meal and realized that she just had to express that she loved to take her bread and dab it in the juices that came out of the steak. And she just said, "Oh, I just love dipping my bread in the blood left over." And I took this opportunity to explain to her, no, in fact, that wasn't blood, that the majority of blood ends up on the butcher's floor, and what she was looking at was myoglobin, which is something akin to hemoglobin, which we find in blood, which is what gives it its red color, and we find in muscle. At the moment I'd finished my explanation, I realized that about a dozen or more eyes were staring at me across the dinner table, wondering why I was giving a biology lesson to Aunt Legina, and for no other reason than I was wanting to share that information with her, wanting to spread knowledge, if you will, because that's what I do, and that's what feeds the self-esteem within me, so that people don't walk around with statements or knowledge that's incorrect or obsolete, if you will. But I do this because knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe. Thank you. Good night.